Good morning everybody, this is Michelle from Creative Operation, and today we're going to start the tutorial on how I made my Happy Days mini album. I'm going to get started right away. We're going to probably do this in two parts because I want to kind of quickly go through the cover and the actual pages, and then we'll come back to the envelopes and the decorating and another video. So if you haven't seen this book, go back. I did a video of it. It's really kind of a cute little thing. I did a big, it's kind of a wide binding, but the reason why it's a wide binding is because basically it's two books in one. And just to refresh your memory, it opens up, and then what you end up with is a bunch of pages on either side, two books in one. And of course my tags are falling out. So there you go. Alright, it's a play on Laura Dennison's Stack the Deck, except it's kind of a stack the pages kind of thing, so we'll go through how I made that. And let's get started. I'll also show you this kind of cool binding system that I came up with using the spines of the inner book as the actual thing. So I wrote these things down. Ignore this. This is my second take, and I realized after I did the first video that I messed up. So let's, we'll have the correct measurements on this one. For the book cover, you'll need some chipboard, 7 by 5 1/4 inches. You'll need 2 of those for the spines of the book, or excuse me, for the covers of the book, front and back, and then you'll need a 7 by 2 3/4 piece for the spine. I'm using Tyvek on my spine. Kathy from Paper Phenomenon came up with this magnificent idea. That way when you open and close the book, and the wear and tear is really diminished if you use the Tyvek. It really makes the hinges of this book really strong. So I would highly suggest you go get that. I got mine at the local office store. Came in like a pack of like 10 for not very much money, and that pack of 10 giant 9 by 12 envelopes will last you forever. So it's a really good investment, as you're only going to need a piece that's 7 by 5 inches. So I would highly suggest you get one. Now you don't, excuse me, have to have that, but it will help on the wear and tear of your spine. You can also, if you get mail that's been in a Tyvek envelope, you can recycle, which is always a good thing. So then for the cover, you'll also need pattern paper, front and back. Each piece will be 8.5 by 6 inches. For the spine, you'll need a piece that's 8.5 by 5 inches. And then the strip is that decorative strip that I put on my spine. And you don't have to do that. You can use a sticker or whatever, but if you have a really cool piece of the paper that you want to use, get a strip that's 8.5 by 1.5 inch. And then you'll need one piece of solid cardstock that's 6 3/4 by 5 inches. And you know what? I got ahead of myself here real quick. Let's backtrack. For this demo, I'm going to use the crepe paper collection called DIY Shop. Really cute, vintagey, fun, everyday paper. So that's what I'm using for this particular project. And then the other thing I'm using are envelopes. That's pretty important in this video. I'm using 4 3/4 by 6.5 inch envelopes. Now, if you're going to use a different size envelope, you will have to have different measurements, because this whole book is based off of the size of the envelopes I had in my closet. So if you don't have 4 3/4 inch envelopes by 6.5 inch envelopes, you can use any size envelope you want, but be aware you're going to have to change the measurements of your book cover and your pages and everything else, because like I said, I totally started with the envelopes and worked my way out. Alright, so sorry, this is take 2, and I'm kind of a little twittered now because I was really hoping that I could do this in one take, but not so much. Okay, so this is what my cover is going to look like, and I've got it partially done. This is my big pieces of pattern paper, 8.5 by 6, and then I just put it to the edge of the cardstock on the covers, okay, so that it would go out here. It didn't cover the spine at all. That's why you have the spine piece of paper here, the 8.5 by 5 inch, and then I had this strip of the paper that was left over that was like basically perfect to put there. I did not even plan that, so that was like kind of cool. I did a decorative stitch on the edge of my spine paper, and a good tip to use is before you punch it, go ahead and lay down a thing of score tape underneath it, and then once you punch it, you punch through the score tape too, and then all you have to do is peel that strip off, and then all these little bits that are really hard to glue down will be instantly glued down. Alright, so then just to show you the inside of the book, this is what it's going to look like. So you have your chipboard covers here, you have your spine chipboard under here, and then this piece of cardstock, this is a solid cardstock that was 6 3/4 by 5. This will lay over top of it, and that's all the covering that you need to do on this book. And just pretend these are folded down. These should be folded down by now. I just didn't finish that part. Okay, so that's the inside of the book. I know you all have covered chipboard before. If you have questions, let me know, but I'm going to kind of skip right through this. Okay, so this is what your piece should look once you get all of your book cover pieces put together that I just showed you. This is what it should look like. Do remember that you do need to fold those down. I just hadn't done it yet. I just wanted to show real fast how that's going to look. And then this will adhere down. Your hinges will be here. They'll be nice and sturdy because of the Tyvek. It'll be great. Okay? So you do need to have this piece here at this point because it will cover up the edges. It'll match up the book pages. That's what you want. Alright? So then let's go to the book pages themselves. So the inner books, as I'm calling them right now, you'll need 6 pieces of cardstock and 2 of each of these sizes, 6 3/4 by 11 1/4, 6 3/4 by 10 3/4, 6 3/4 by 10 1/4. And then on each piece, you're going to lay it down on your scoreboard, and you're going to go in from this edge, score it at 5, flip it around, and then score it by 5 on the other side. Okay? So once you do that to all 6 pieces, you're going to lay it down, score it in 5, flip it over, score it in at 5, and you're going to end up with 3 pieces, okay, that have graduated spines. So this will have a 1.5 inch spine, this will have a 3/4 inch spine, and this will have a 1/4 inch spine. Whoops, and I'm totally not in frame. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so this will be for one side of the book, alright, and then you'll have another piece that'll be for, you know, the other side of the book, alright. So once they get put together, and like I said, remember this is like the stack the deck binding, except it's kind of a stack the page kind of thing. Alright, so when you put these together in the graduated size and nested inside of each other, you'll get a 1/4 inch gap between each page. Okay, so then what you're going to want to do is you're going to put, I use my heavy duty Crocodile to do this because you need a long reach kind of thing, and then I wanted to set eyelets because that'll make it a little bit stronger. You want to measure 3 1/8 inch in, put a dot, 3 1/8 inch in, put a dot, and then punch holes, set your eyelets. Okay, that is what is going to create the holes for your ribbon binding that we're going to, or the ribbon tie closure that we're going to do. I keep saying binding. This is the closure. Okay, so you'll do that for each of these pages and make 2 sets. And then you see all this score tape on this side. That is what is actually going to adhere down to the inside of your book. So let me show you here real quick. And of course this piece isn't adhered down, but we're going to pretend. Let me see if I'm in. There we go. So then what you'll do is you'll take this, and once this is folded down, of course, then you'll lay this on top, and that will be that. That's how that's going to stick down into your book. So you'll have one book on each side, and the book will fold like that. Okay? So I'm going to stop here, and I will finish this part up. I'll show it to you next time, and the next time we'll go through the envelopes and the tags and how I created all the different kinds of pockets. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I hope you have a really crafty day. Thanks a lot. Bye.